stage, Rex Okiche. Please put your hands together for him. Former head of station, Bridge Radio, Asaba. Wow. A round of applause for him. Is a son of the soil as well, I can boldly say. Please put your hands together for him as he comes to take his seat. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you.
Make we welcome Rex Okiche, but decided we're going to do something special.
All right.
I don't know who clap for him. Please clap for him.
Clap for him now, I
Clap
beg.
for him.
Is he arguably the tallest in the room? I don't think so. All right, coming up next. Okay, so we have the General Manager, DBS Asaba. Please put your hands together for Mrs. Christine Emetulu as she takes her seat. Welcome, ma'am.
Welcome, ma'am.
Just anywhere outside the middle. Thank you. All right, coming on next, we have a veteran broadcaster, retired but not hired. Please put your hands together for Mrs. Ochuko Orogun, my mama. My mama. Celebrate this great woman, please. Thank you. All right, so you can also take the other way. Mama, come with your food. No Allah. Nothing to you. Nothing to you. All right, coming to join her next, we have all the way from Justman Radio Lagos, Mr. Edokbai Osato, a.k.a. EDK. A round of applause for him. Ma'am, please just avoid the middle seat. Oh, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. And moderating this session, we have the person of Success David of Trend FM Asaba. Please
Madam
put
Speaker,
your hands together for
welcome.
Miss Success.
Popularly
All right.
known as Madam Speaker on Trend 100.9
All right,
FM.
now let's do this.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Nice to be here. As a matter of fact, it's an honor. Please permit me to stand on existing protocol, recognizing now in absentia our governor, who was ably represented by Honorable Commissioner for Public Information, Works, Rural Road, Charles Anyago. I have representing the Speaker of the Delta State House of Assembly, the Majority Leader, Emeka Nwobi. Veteran broadcasters here present, my colleagues, and of course other delegates. It's an auspicious occasion, and I am most honored to be moderating the panel session. I can see my friend from that end, Rex Okiche. We've done a lot of work together before he disappeared to Lagos. Hello, Rex. Very well, thank you. How are you? Okay. I think we have to change your mic. Could I have somebody help me?
I think this one works.
Okay, this works. Mama, do you have one? Okay. And as you heard me call her Mama, I've heard a lot about her. It's an honor to be sitting here with you. And as the interviewer, while you answer the question, it's an honor to meet you. I'm at the DBS of Delta State, but DBS right here in Asaba. And of course, the Honorable Mama, who my former colleague, I don't know, talked a lot about you. He's always talking about you when we served together as co-host of Trend Talk. Nice to meet you, Mama.
Thank you.
And of course, EDK, who is arguably the best OAP, contemporary OAP in Nigeria. Hello, EDK. Nice to be sitting on this panel session with you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much. Very kind words. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, without wasting any much time, I was starting from the extreme here. ADK, who was the last person I talked about. We're going to be talking about new school media. So there is this dichotomy about new school and main school media, mainstream media. Before now, in the broadcast media space, we didn't used to hear such things, but now it's a thing. So can you elaborate on new school media and mainstream media, especially because people would define you as contemporary new school broadcast journalists?
Well, I don't know that they should, to be honest. I think if you're a professional at something and you've given a number of years, if you know Sir David Attenborough is a nature journalist, documentary filmmaker, phenomenal voice. He's 99 years old, right? 20 years ago, when he was in his 70s, the BBC had a succession plan. They started talking, how do we replace this guy? 20 years ago. He's still doing it. He's still alive. He's still doing it. And he's still relevant and he's still getting numbers, right? That is to say, in today's world, what we need to do as broadcasters, I believe, is understand how our various media are changing and evolving, how our contributions can further encourage younger people coming after us to look into the light and also be better versions of themselves. People hear TikTok. People think, oh, it's all trendy dances and challenges and so on. And there are people in the world who get all of their news on TikTok. And a lot of it is not even misinformation. It's actual proper news. And there is a young guy, his name is Dylan Page. He's American. He speaks the news like he's talking it or he's dumbing it down. But it's actual factual information. And he's so relevant and so prominent now with millions of followers that he's in the same rooms where you will invite CNN journalists and other international media journalists. The people at the UN need him in the room too because he has a sizable audience. You can't discount his audience. And I think that's what needs to happen for a lot of us. So if you, I feel everyone, and just to hop on the thing, everyone here can be a new school media practitioner. You just need to learn the tools of today and use them to your advantage. I think it's very critical. So I don't think the dichotomy should exist, and I just want to harp on that. And I feel like when we establish that dichotomy, it sort of gives a bit of an excuse for people who have been around a little longer to not learn the new tools of the trade. And like Mrs. Markwell also said when she was up there, she's having to learn how to speak the language of different platforms, like X, and how to post pictures on Insta and TikTok. The thing is, TikTok is not just for dancing. You can pass on your information as a news media journalist, for example. You just need to find the language and the length that works for that particular platform. Lady E has an online media platform, and she's able to have all this impact and all these investigations, not necessarily when she's locally present here, but because she has a platform and utilizes the internet properly, she's able to have a broader impact, right? Now, a lot of the things we've discussed here today is about exactly how we can improve the situation in Delta State or in our local markets, depending on where they are. And the fact is, like the CEO of the company who sponsors here, you can't discount tech, right? We use tech as a trendy word. We use tech to say, oh, you know, if you're on TikTok, you have a website, you have Facebook, you're tech savvy, sure thing. No, what I feel is, and the Honorable Commissioner has gone now, everybody understands here that broadcast equipment is incredibly expensive. Transmitters are crazy expensive, especially if you're buying from Nigeria where the Naira is at a disadvantage and you're going to buy in a foreign currency. Crazy stuff. But there are cheaper alternatives. Now, it's not for a company like DBS. I'm sure they need all the big stuff, right? No, I'm saying what I mean there, Ma, is like the company like DBS, you need the big equipment, right? Your audience is broad. So you need the big vans and you need the things and so on. What I'm saying is everyone here has a phone, right? My colleague Rex is wearing a little lapel microphone there, right? Because there's somebody who's recording him with a thing, right? So they're going to get direct audio from that. I'm saying, right, that there are clever and hopefully, if anybody sees reason with me, cost-effective ways to have greater impact in today's world. And I believe that is what really defines the new media space we're in. The people who will be successful, the people who will thrive, are people who understand quickly how these things are moving, who are able to gauge the trends, and who are able to take advantage. Yes, there will be an initial investment in new tech. New tech is never cheap because, again, people are doing R&D, costs a lot to do R&D. But over time, if people see the success of new tech, there's a proliferation stage. And when things proliferate, generally they become a tad cheaper, right? I feel like every one of us in this room shouldn't only be concerned with what is affecting us. If you're a news editor, don't be concerned with just how to gather the news. How do you gather the news smartly, more efficiently, using new media tools, using AI? I was just going to mention something before I pass on. In 2021, my then boss at Sound City Radio, where I used to work, I used to work in Abuja, he challenged me, because we have shows where we're a solo presenter, so I'd never had a co-host for a while. He says, wouldn't it be great to have another voice on your show? I'm like, yeah, but are you going to hire somebody and pay the person, right? And he joked, no, we don't have the budget for that. But have this thought to develop an AI personality and use on your show. It's a very simple thought. What we did was a little research. We created a psychological profile for an AI personality. We gave her a name. The name was IJ. Instantly, people would ask, is her name Ijoma? Is her name, what is IJ? And we made her sound snarky, argumentative, trolled me. It was an antagonizing personality on the show. Now, some people would have figured it out. I wrote the prompts for the AI person that we hired. And we also heard earlier that there's a whole TV network that is launching AI news anchors in this country now. I did that, but it was more from an entertaining perspective. So there are things I wouldn't want to say because I've developed a personality on air and people expect me to sound and say certain things. But I would like for another voice next to me to say these things in a way that doesn't always agree with things I say. And it was entertaining and listeners loved it and listeners took to her. So her role was like an agony aunt. So if you know these agony aunt columns in the old papers where you share your problems and you say, oh, my boyfriend left me. I would send voice notes on WhatsApp and ask this AI personality super intelligent questions. And she would make this snarky joke. I was writing all the prompts, right? But it gave me an opportunity to sort of have a separate voice on the show. And if you do that, I'm just saying this is another outlet for a new school media person, for you to take advantage of the tools that exist today and thrive. It was so good that when I moved to a new station in Lagos, so we set up a new station, Radio Justman, 105.7, my boss asked me, so we're not going to leave that thing in Abuja, are we? Because we have to find a way to bring it here. And, you know, sometimes when you create things at your station, they tell you it belongs to the station,
Yes.
yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I don't particularly subscribe to that.
Okay.
No, I get the point. I'm just saying that it was the way it was designed made it sort of proprietary to me and to us at the time.
Okay.
And I'm just saying that what we can do more so that we can all be this new school media mavens is to take advantage of today's tools quickly, smartly, and thrive together.
Thank you very much. Please let's put our hands together for EDK. And just to mention, we're discussing challenges and solutions of the broadcast media here in Delta State, how we can expedite action to see that we become as global as we're supposed to be. Let me move on to Mama here, who is Christine Emetulu. She is the current manager of DBS Asaba, General Manager, DBS, please. I apologize, DBS people, don't call my true mirror. Okay, we're going to be talking about marketing because you started off in marketing, and we know if broadcast media is going to be sustainable, Honorable Commissioner for Public Information mentioned it, especially for private radio stations, marketing, funding, and sustainability for broadcast media. What would you prefer as solutions in current day global space?
All right, thank you very much, and again, welcome to all our media practitioners. Just to let you know that I started out as a presenter and OAP, not as a marketer.
Okay, but you have marketing background. Yes. Okay.
Let's say 2 years of that. Now, as the manager of an organization, Delta Broadcasting Service, Asaba. Needless to say that we need resources to drive that organization.
The microphone.
Now, what I will say, because there are many media heads and marketers here, first and foremost, we must embrace the new media, as you call it, because it is your visibility that will give you more eyes and more ears. And the more visibility you have, the more they want to patronize you. So as media leaders, media practitioners, and those in the marketing space, we must make ourselves visible, even online. And I'm sure that contrary to perceptions, many of the media organizations here, even the ones you call traditional, are already embracing that. Now, there was a question or a statement that Lady E made earlier on, that on a post somebody said, does DBS still exist? Now, to that I would say is a function of visibility, and then who are those listening to you? Where are your audiences from? Who are your audience per time? So it's important. So if you're running an organization and you want to thrive, to generate resources, one, your content must be good. So it's not enough for you to be on air and then you don't have the appeal. So your content must be such that it can attract, not just attract, but also sustain your viewership and your listenership. So to that extent, the content that you push out, we're talking about the Gen Zs now. What is your content like? Is your content such that it sidetracks the Gen Zs? Is something we have to address. Now, as traditional media practitioners, we have a challenge because we're not just a private station. We operate under the rules of the sea. So even though we try to be flexible, there's a level and a limit to which we can be flexible. So there is a level or a specification for local programs. There's a specification for children programs. There's a specification for government programs, you name it. However, in all of this, what we must try to do is to ensure that this catchment area, the Gen Zs now, we develop content that would attract them and sustain them. That is a challenge for traditional media practitioners. But we must come out of that. So like I said, we must come out with content that will satisfy, that will meet their listenership, their viewership, and then we extend this from the basic or the fundamentals of radio, television, and move on to online where we have their presence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please let's put our hands together for Mrs. Christine Emetulu, the General Manager of DBS. Wonderful, I totally agree. If your content is not appealing, then you will not sell. And when we're talking about Gen Z these days, you know, they're all on social media. So content that appeal to Gen Z and utilizing the tools that Gen Zs use would solve the problem. Thank you so much, wonderful. And moving on to the second gentleman I have with me, just to mention if you have any questions, and when we round up this session, we'll move on to the question and answer session. So we'll take about four questions, one for each person. So please, NK and Finest, please help me. Anybody who has a question, you can take it. Just 4 questions to take. Rex has gone to Lagos City FM and he's thriving there. You're the head of programs there. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. For people who did not know, people who did not know before now, I knew Rex as a musician. With the now, where TV or pin code, though? Yes, I knew Rex as that person. And then we know that Delta State is blessed with entertainers. But then when we speak to entertainment in Nigeria, the big boys in entertainment, they're all running to Lagos. It's not like we don't have talent here in Delta State. How can we harness broadcast media to export the talents that Delta State has? I'd like to think you're a Delta, and even though you're in Lagos now, but tell us how you can help us.
Okay, so firstly, it's good to be home. Big shout out to everybody in the building. I'm glad to be back here having this conversation. And as a musician, like you said, I've done so many things, but it's good that I'm in the media space as well. For Delta, there are a lot of talent here, but I think that one of the biggest issues we have in Delta State is platforms that encourage the musicians and the talent here to get the information they need to thrive. But the beautiful thing now is that there's the internet, there's social media. So a lot of information is out there. The draw that Lagos will continue to have is because of investment that has gone into media in Lagos, right? And the fact that we have more of the record labels in Lagos and all those platforms. But what's stopping us from having these kind of seminars for the creatives who are here, the musicians who are here, and what's also stopping the media from projecting Delta artists' opportunity? So it's not only focusing on the artists who are topping the Hot 100 on the billboards or Apple Music charts. We need to have a conscious effort to promote local talent here in Delta State. And I feel there's so much that we can achieve as broadcast media practitioners here, just so that whenever a new artist comes out in Delta State, they understand what they need to do to compete with the artists in Lagos or wherever else. And the beautiful thing is that wherever you are now with TikTok, Instagram, you can blow from anywhere. So it's up to us to ensure that we appreciate the talent here and as media practitioners, provide opportunities for them and put together conferences like this, especially those that touch on music business, because I think a lot of the practitioners who are artists, business that not a lot of people understand. Once they can understand that, then we'll be hearing something totally different.
Okay, so broadcasters here, we are encouraged to promote our own. For Trend FM, where I work, there's something we call the music studio, where we promote local artists, and at just very, very little fee. If you go to bigger stations, they call 500,000, 1 million, one airplay for an artist that is trying to find his way. But we can actually encourage them, and some of these people are really good. So let's do well to promote our own. Delta to the world, yay! Thank you very much. And now, saving the best for last, Mama, like I love to call her, or Chuko Orogun, like they've always, people have introduced you before now, and they've been saying retired but not tired. I love that so much. Let's speak to creativity and what I like to call stifling of talent. Lady E spoke to broadcasters or broadcast journalists that take the opportunity to go improve on themselves. I speak to broadcast journalists here in Delta State, and just having a conversation, and they tell you, I've not had time to go do 1 or 2 courses, because when I go to ask for permission, they'll ask, who will do your job? Will we still pay you when? So haven't gone through the years of service, and you did very well. How do you suppose that broadcast journalists now in practice can deal with that? And also, please help us appeal to the managers in the house.
Good to be here. I feel like a guest, after 2 years in the quiet. I'm not very funny, a little bit shaking, but whatever it is, a journalist is a journalist, a broadcaster is a broadcaster. I'm happy I'm here. Going straight to your question, if you want to achieve anything on yourself, you don't wait for anybody to help you. You have to do it yourself. You look for people around you who have been better whatever they've done and try it in you. And that's the only way you can help yourself. As a veteran broadcaster, meaning that I retired like 2 years ago, it wasn't that easy to work in the government circle because it's all about Oga, Oga, Oga. I know many of my colleagues here, especially those who were under me, will say, this woman too wicked. But it was to train you to be better. This program, like today, was supposed to start at 10, but we started about 2:11. I am very time conscious, and that's what every broadcaster should have in mind. Thank you so much. And I find out that the Gen Zs did not clap. Because they will never stick to time. And that's one thing that's very important. Then, secondly, you must know your worth. You must be ready for anything. You can't wait for the general manager to give you what you want. You have to sacrifice. And to make it better for you, to make people appreciate you, your guys will not appreciate you. Your fellow colleagues will not appreciate you. You know who will appreciate you? The audience, the viewers, the listeners. I don't know how many of you still remember. I used to do Sunday morning, which I took from May Nwoko. And nobody has ever asked Ochukwu come back, apart from Malcolm Oteri, who saw me one time at the club and said, how far? We want you. But it was audience, listeners, who says, Ochukwu, we're missing your voice. Come back to Sunday morning. It was an escape route for me, not going to church anyway. But now, I had to put my foot down for my husband. I don't go church, I tire. But what I'm saying here is, you have to make yourself relevant. You have to do a lot of research. Exactly what Maope said. I've always been her fan on TV. If he doesn't know that, yes. I listen to you. You're another African Amanpour. You are hard to deal with. And you're always straight to business, and that's what it's supposed to be. You don't come to pet your guest. You need to get the answer of them. It's not easy, because at the end, waiting they do himself, you know. But at the end of it, did you achieve what you wanted? And if you did, then you pat your back. Don't wait for people to tell you you did well. You ask yourself, and that's why there's what we call post-mortem for yourself. I had one in a husband who would say, don't fool yourself, you know. And if you have people who are close to you who tells you the right thing, you will improve. Talking about the Gen Z, talking about the modern, talking about the old, I don't think there's anything to it. There are ethics you must follow, whether you like it or not. Whether it's in a 1969 book, whether it's in a 2025 book, there are ethics you have to follow. Yes. There's what we call humility, ready to work, doing your best, giving out the best. Those are the things I can remember. I told you, immediately I retired, I refused to turn on my radio or television because I know I will call Anayenuku, what are you doing on air? Or I will call a CJ, what is happening? They all know that. So I had to get off from it. But, Honorable, are you finding me boring? Yes. Bye-bye, Honorable Wobi.
Majority Leader is taking his leave, and we can continue. Convener and LLC Chairman. Majority Leader, thank you so much for coming.
I said you were not enjoying me. So, okay. No, it's all right. Yes, well done.
Thank you so much. Where were we?
So that's it. Having the guts, that's another thing. You have to be very flexible, respectful in talking to people, a little bit of a sense of humor to make the person feel at ease. Do I get personal here? Someone like Ruben Abati, I used to enjoy him when he writes on newspaper, but seeing him on air, he looks very intimidating, making his guest uncomfortable. And I think that's not broadcasting. I'm sorry to say that. There are many ways a broadcaster have to be. Friendly, nice, but giving your point across, telling everyone that you know what you're doing. I think that's enough.
Thank you so
Yes.
much. Please let's put our hands together for Mrs. Ochiko Orogun. Okay, and now I'm going to take questions. Just 4 questions. 4 questions. And preferably for each of our panelists. Okay, I have somebody here. How many questions do you have? 1 question. Comment. Okay, let's ask question first, and we can go to comments later. Thank you. Okay. Okay, who is asking the first question? Please say your name and the panelist you're directing your question to. Or if the questions are written down, I can take it. Somebody is raising up his hand here. The mic is not working.
Thank you very much, the panelists, organizers of this forum. I am Prince Victor Faizomo, and I'm the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Media. And let me just say that in journalism, I've put in about 2.5 decades, having worked in This Day, The Guardian, Daily Independent, and Daily Times. So I can be categorized as somebody who, in all my period in journalism, as a great media person. But there's a very disturbing trend in the areas of journalism and information management. Although it can come as a form of a question or a comment. It has to do or any of the panelists can pick up the issue. I am not directing it to anybody. It's just an observation. It is the issue of professionalism, where you have journalists working by the ethics of the profession, which is usually inculcated or derived from the level of education you have acquired in the areas of journalism. If you look at the press code, for you to practice as a journalist, you must have gotten the prerequisite qualification for you to be addressed as a journalist. But in the current trend, you have persons of different shades, of different fields, encroaching into the profession, thereby giving the profession not to, those who are in the profession now are not really those who are real professionals. Unlike where you have the law profession.
Okay, so you're speaking to quacks that now practice journalism.
Yeah,
Your question is on qualification
Yes.
to become a journalist.
Yes. So what should be done to ensure that trend is checked?
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Sorry, if I should confirm, this question is directed to who? Anyone. Okay. You want to attempt the question, Mrs. Christine? Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you very much, the SSA. What I would say is the new media or the social media have actually brought about a crop of persons. They call themselves citizen media. So you can pick your phone and the next thing you are doing a story. very unfortunately, there's not much that we are communicating to these so-called Gen Zs. So there's not much that we are learning from them. Let's take a look at their use of grammar, for instance. Most of the time, it's out of shape and out of line. But so long as it's something to laugh about, they say it's flexible and all of that, at the end of the day, there's not much that we are gaining in terms of adding value to the society. So in that regard, I would say for those who are into social media, journalism, try and update or upgrade yourselves. And again, if you must do that, as many of you are doing now, what I would prescribe is decent journalism. I think that's what we should all accept. Anything short of that, propagation of violence, use of any manner of language, I do not think that edifies any society. Thank you.
Yeah, just quickly. Please, it is question and answer session. Let's try, if you're going to ask questions, just introduce yourself very well. Then make it straight to the point. That you could also ask, especially the guest speakers. You know, they've addressed us. You can ask either Malcolm, Lady E, Peter, Woche, not necessarily the discussants. So your question can go to any of these persons. All right? Thank you.
Thank you very much for this privileged opportunity to be here. I'd like to commend the organizers and especially Ruke again. It's unfortunate that I am Christy Jaho Ayenuku, Head Presentation Section, DBS Warri. All right, thank you very much. I really would have loved for the Commissioner, Aniagu, to have been here. And with due respect to the years, over the years we watched him, we saw him on. What was read to us was that the license came with certain guidelines. One of them is that the station newscasters must be dressed in the traditional attire or cultural attires of Delta State. Take your mind back to all the tribes we have here. Most recently, we had a visual posted to us of one of our newscasters who was done in a trad, traditional, but the sleeve was just close to what I'm putting on. And we're told that that is against the ethics, that is, at least the license that's a traditional, you need to be covered and all that. And so you may call it on the sideline or just a joke, but somebody just whispered to me, Madam, you don't hear. We need to, I said, yes, you can now do bam shot and sparks on the news because we want to follow trend. There are ethics. And then the question on that one is, when you came with the license to say, this is the format, this is the in-house style of the dress on the news, are we supposed to wait for you to come back to redo or undo that? Or maybe the administrator, maybe the CEO or the general manager of his own discretion comes up to say, okay, the trend are changing on CNN, you can see tank tops and all that, we just do that right now. Whether we like it or not, this is one profession where former Ruth Benemisi up here says, you don't arrive. We learn, we blend what some of the speakers have said, we evolve, we try to evolve. Yes, that is quite a challenge for some of us old school, but the ethics remain the ethics. And then we cannot run away from the fact that if there is no patronage and DBS Warri is not on Go TV or DSTV, you really expect that my children, the last of which is taking WAEC right now, that's in university, Mommy, say the truth. If you went to working day, will you watch the station? Will you listen to it? We get all of this. We can't say that we're not on the right platform and you say it's because self-development is very important. Some persons are doing it. And you expect that miracle will fall down. There are people right now who are saying that if they have the way, they will advise the Gen Zs, don't take up a job as a broadcaster if you must grow to become globally competitive in a government-owned station. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If I deduce the question from all you said, it is how can broadcasters evolve from what originally was the instruction handed down to them on how to dress in their presentation? I think you're the right person to answer that question.
All right, thank you very much. What is decent is what is decent. I would like to say that there is evolution in the world, and in the broadcast media, we are not exempted. True, at the inauguration and commissioning of the DRTV, the rule might have said, dress traditional. But dress traditional does not mean you should tie aquacha on your chest and leave your upper part bare. That's traditional. So you apply discretion, decency, what would appeal to a greater percentage of your viewers, and exercising discretion will determine how you should dress. So dressing traditional does not mean you should tie a gele that will make a short unappealing. Don't forget we're talking about TV and the optics. So decency, ethics, exercise of discretion, a bit of flexibility in administration is called for. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll take all the questions at once. And please, when the mic gets to you, just go straight to the point. Go straight to the point with your question. We don't have much time.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon to the discussants and the panelists. My name is activist Kelvin Ejumudo. I'm the SSA to the Governor of Delta State on Human Rights. First, I would like to appreciate my big auntie, Auntie Oshigorogo Mingwoma. It's good to see you today after many years seeing you on screen. Well, my question, or perhaps my take is, the media having engagement with government forces. When you appear cheap to government functionaries, they assess you cheaply. Meaning, if you are coming for an engagement as a media expert, I think it's better you just go to on the job than unnecessary familiarity, looking for PRO. At the end of the day, they guide what you should say at the larger space. Like the Honorable Commissioner said, when you have the content, you get the traffic. Like Auntie said, there are people you like to see, the likes of Rufai, likes of our Auntie on channels. You want to watch them talk because they don't compromise, they don't manage the facts. I've been issue before them. But when you begin to manage this fact as a media expert, the people watching begin to question your body language and will take a decision and act within. That's my submission. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Do we have the questions compiled?
All right.
That was not a question, more of a contribution to all that have been said. But thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tony Luaka, the gentleman on and off your radio with the voice of Delta Asaba. My question is relating to something similar to what Rex said. We have vibrant artists, like we have the presenters, OAPs, and we complain all the time that, okay, these people are taking our jobs out of town, out of Delta, to Lagos and the likes. Now, I want to talk about artists because I have a program on radio. It's called Artist Corner, right, where I get to meet very creative artists. I meet a lot of good artists, but they don't have the platform. So my question is this. Is there a way that the broadcast outfits we have in Delta can have a synergy of some sort with P-Man in Delta so that we can actually project these people? I MC events and even shows that come from Lagos. Most times when I'm on this event, I only call Lagos artists, outside artists. We don't have, in America and the likes, when you get to see these shows, they open up these shows with homegrown artists. There has to be a synergy. So is there a way, my question is there a way we can have that synergy between the broadcast outfit we have in Delta State and musicians, talents that we have in Delta State to actually project them to the world? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Who is asking the next question? Okay.
My name is Jonathan Bichi. You can call me Daddy King, Ashefenefene. Yes. Well, time no day. So I just want to ask something. When people know they look into, because DBS where I they work. Because charity, they say, begins at home. Before I go talk any other thing as regards every other organization, let me look at our own first. DBS. You get the way they take create DBS. That means you get the way government take establish DBS. When they take give them license to broadcast. Now, the things don't they evolve. Things don't they change. Things they go in a way when it be say, it can't be like say the way and the mindset when they take establish DBS is different from what they happen right now. Not be so. So now, well, they're not here, but at least the message should go. How DBS, a station like DBS, with all the manpower, the expertise, professionalism, the know-how, technical, if I work in CNN, true to God, they will feel I'm doing voodoo. By the time they have a broken camera, and I take that camera and bring the reader in view on air, they will say it's voodoo. Because here in DBS, you see the camera bending like a grasshopper. And you as the cameraman, you will come, you will bend with the camera in order to take you in view and put you on sets. Now, things are evolving. Equipment are evolving. Human capital development. I paid myself to train myself and my colleague Jennifer Orubo, after my madam came from FCM Broadcast Academy, Lagos. Up till now, that's about 10 years gone. Nobody has asked us to go for announcers. There's a mid-class, and nobody has asked us. Training and retraining. We're doing our best, but government is not doing as much as we are putting in order to raise DBS, whether Warri or Asaba. What do we do at this critical point in time? I have data to run my platforms. She has data to run her platforms. But does the station has data to run its platform?
Okay.
Does the station has what it takes to run the station 24 hours? There are a lot of epileptic transmission. A lot of things is happening see, the truth is that how do we transmit under this new broadcast that we have found ourselves? I hail the house. Area.
Thank you very much. Please, because of time, we'll take just 3 questions more. 3 questions more.
Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues. Yes. Thanks to the organizers. My questions are straight and just to the point. I'd like to go first to the area of digital world. I'm Jennifer Orubo, DBS Warri. I'd like to go to the area of digital world where the new media has taken the space. For us, as traditional mainstream media, where do we draw the line in the evolving digital world where we work in line with professionalism, not breaching the code and ethics of NBC, and also trying to make sure that we top the notch when it comes to media disinformation, dissemination, and impact of knowledge to our audience? That's my first question. The second one talked about creativity, flexibility in creativity. My HOP just made an instance of a newscaster that wore a cloth, not revealing, but innovative. To what level can flexibility in creativity ends when it comes to creative programming and presentation? Then the third one talks about platform. I would like to disagree with some of the speakers. Talent is golden. Ideas are very essential. But I would like to draw here that the platform plays a critical and pivotal role.
or 10 years ago where internet come around, and you think you deleted that thing, there's something called the Wayback Machine. That thing will go uncover even what you have deleted. Today, I know how many persons, there was a young lady who was supposed to get a job. We did an investigation into her, and we discovered that she did some videos where it was revealing. That video is haunting her today. We fought a battle. I fought a case because I could see she was talented. But I had to fight a very tough case. You can see that she did it out of ignorance at the time. Nobody told her. But right now, ignorance is not what? Bliss. Ignorance is costly. So for music, the boys are just mentioned to me that, have you seen him use any naked women? Never. But he sells. Do you get it? That was part of the orientation I gave to them through the Genie Factor Star Search. You don't have to do the most weirdest content before you can get traction. Your audience are here, know who they are, create content for them, and craft it accordingly. It's important. And then, somebody talk about data.
So for data, for research, how many of you have your phones here? You have your WhatsApp app, isn't it? Have you noticed there's something called Meta AI? That's your go-to. That's your research button right there. She mentioned ChatGPT. Those are research tools. You have even now on Google browser, there's an automatic AI that just delivers for you. The question you should be asking yourself is, the data you want to spend, how important is it with regards to what you are looking for? Do you want to put your money specifically only in data that you'll be watching naked movies and videos, or do you want to put data towards your career where it really matters? Because many people go to stroll, you know how you did for Facebook? They just scroll, they go, data, they go, data, they go. Before you know what's happening, data is gone. So you got to ask yourself and control yourself, because data and consumption on the go. So discipline, priority is very important, and manage your time. Time management is very key.
Thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for Lady E and, of course, Maupe Ogun Yusuf. Now, back to the panelists. I think they've done justice to most of the questions that were asked. So as we round off of this panelist session, can you please, in about 10 seconds, your final words? Starting with Rex.
All right, thank you very much. I've loved the conversations that we've had. I just wanted to add something to what the young man who was asking the music collaboration question, he said he has a radio show that he does for musicians. I like that you're doing that. I also started a radio program that is for music business, because I find that there are a lot of opportunities now with big record labels coming into the country. There's such a thing as publishing, sync licensing, just avenues that artists can make money, because to promote yourself as an artist, you need funding. And we're in a world where there's indie record labels, people are doing their thing independently, but how do you fund it? So since you've already started a radio program, I think you need to find a way to educate the musicians that you're promoting as well, and come together, put up something. It could be a showcase night where they have an opportunity to perform. It could be in terms of seminars where you can get people who have the talent to, educate them some more, because I think it will go a long way, especially as a radio station, that you are driving change and impact in the society, especially as it concerns that particular industry that you're interested in. So that's what I would say about that.
Thank you so much. Please, let's put our hands together for Rex. And now moving on to Mrs. Christine Emetulu, the General Manager of DBS. Your final words.
All right. Once again, thank you very much for the conveners. At least it's a very good forum for us to have a coalition. So living here, we can better collaborate as media organizations towards enhancing the media space in Delta State. Let's be more professional. Resilience is also called for, while we're counting on the state government to ensure that our lot is improved as mainstream media broadcasters. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please, let's put our hands together for her. And of course, to our Mama Ochuko Rogu, that is retired but not tired, your final words, please.
You're making me look old, and I hate looking old. But anyway, just keep doing your best. make sure that all that you have, you put in, no matter what. Nobody can stop you from doing what you want to do as far as it's up to expectation. Be as good as possible. If you have to spend your whole salary, do it. It's for you and not for them. And give out the best. A lot of people want information. Give it to them. How many of you remember Fit and Beautiful? Yes. A lot of men learned how to put their socks together. Those simple little things really help. Just be yourself. That's it.
Thank you very much. And of course, EDK.
I mean, just to piggyback on what Madam Ochuko said, I feel like for a lot of, especially younger presenters, there is an opportunity for you to attend more things like this where you can learn from people who have been around a while and people who are maybe your contemporaries who are doing things as well. But the thing I must reiterate is whenever you want to do something, because it's very easy to say I'm in Delta State, so let me just only limit myself to my environment. I think, and I said this in an interview in 2017, and that's how I was found out and hired for the job I took on. You can get global best practices and implement them in your local market. There's no reason why, because somebody streams a station in Asaba, it won't sound as good as a station in the UK. There's absolutely no reason why. I feel like there is a thread to everything that's of quality, whether it's produced in China or it's produced in Warri. If something is of great standard, you will know. You can't contest it. And that's why, just to reiterate again, when I say that it's important that everybody evolves and embraces new tech, there's a foundation that's been laid for all of us. There are ethics to the things that we do, and there's a code to the things that we do, and there's especially a reason to the things that we're doing. We serve an audience, and it's always important to put them front and center in everything we're doing and ensure that at the end of the day, not only do we improve their lot, but we also improve ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much, the audience, for seeing through to the end of this panelist session. It's been wonderful discussing and answering your questions. And it's an honor to have moderated this session. My name is Success David Chinuma, popularly known as the Numa. And can we please be on our feet and take a bow, my panelists? Okay, to continue the program, let's welcome NK.
Thank you very much. Can we please put our hands together for our panelists? And of course, our amiable moderator. Can we please put our hands together for them? Don't worry, we are wrapping up already. We are wrapping up already. We just want to play one tiny little video. Remember, we had Rufai Oseni and, of course, Oji Okpe, who had their videos here with us. But we want to play that of Oji Okpe right about now. We know her from What's Trending on Arise TV. Can we please have a video up real quick? It's a very short video, I assure you. It's a very short video. Can we have Oji Okpe's video right now?
Hello everyone, welcome to the Delta Broadcast Media. Everyone, welcome to the Delta Broadcast Media Conference. My name is Oji Okpe, and I am the host of What's Trending on the Arise News channel and a proud daughter of Delta State. Today I'd like to talk about the role the Delta State government can play in supporting the development of mainstream media across the state. Now, the truth is, government support is essential, but it must go hand in hand with media independence. So how can the government help? First, through policy and regulatory support. This means creating fair regulations that protect press freedom and prevent censorship, as well as simplifying licensing processes and making access to the broadcast spectrum affordable. Again, financial support is key. The government can offer grants or subsidies for public interest programming, especially content around health, education, and civil issues, or even tax incentives on equipment. Advertising can also ease financial pressure for media houses. So we really do encourage the government to place ads in our media houses. It can really go a long way. Thirdly, there is capacity building. Journalists need ongoing training, especially in ethics, digital reporting, and investigative work. The government can also help set up funds to help drive creative content and storytelling, especially in rural, underserved communities. The stories that come out from these underserved communities can really help to, try to drive in the sort of change that they need. I cannot.
Exactly. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Good. Mic check 1 2. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are outside today, Friday, the 16th of May, 2025, for the first of its kind happening in the city of Asaba, Delta State. It's the Delta Broadcast Media Conference, and the theme is Broadcast Media, Pathway to Unlocking Delta's Possibilities. We have a gathering of broadcast media professionals from across the state, from different major TV stations, radio stations, under one roof, discussing critical issues affecting the broadcast industry. My name is Fresh Prince from Echo 91.1 FM. I'm here with a veteran broadcaster, retired, not tired, OG in the game, like we Gen Z like to say it. Make some noise for Chief Ochukwu.
Yes.
Mama.
It's good to be here.
Yes.
Good to be here.
Thank you for being on our panel session.
Yes.
Hope you had a nice time.
Yes, very.
All right, real quick.
Brought back memories.
Real quick, right now, from everything we've discussed, what do you think the Nigerian broadcast industry needs right now moving forward to stay relevant?
With what has happened today, if there is a continuation and being able to get together all of these things that has been said, yes, there's a way forward. Yes.
Okay, so how do you think the broadcast industry is going to evolve in the nearest future from what we've seen?
With the old, blending with the new, and making sure there's retraining and retraining, it helps.
Nice. Yes.
End of this conference. Remember, you can always take those pictures and, of course, tag or use the hashtag DBMC2025. We encourage you to take pictures, videos, more like take the action from what we've learned today from new media, if I may say so. Take pictures, videos, post on Instagram, post on X, on Facebook, with the hashtag DBMC. We'll be going on to take the vote of thanks. You can move around to fraternize. Understand that some persons are here who would like to say hello to each other. Those coming from Warri, those in Asaba as well. We can all just get to meet and greet before we have the vote of thanks. The DJ could help us with a little bit of a sound just to serenade the environment. Thank you very much.
please. Thank you.
Hello, my job here is very simple. I want to sincerely thank our very special guests and distinguished personalities who joined us for this first ever Delta Media Broadcast Conference. I want to thank His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, who was represented by the Honorable Commissioner for Roads, Rural Roads and Public Information, and all the general managers, our colleagues, government officials, and every other person. We want to say thank you and God bless you. I want to also thank the LOC members and our guests, particularly Mope Ogun Yusuf, who came all the way from Abuja. I want to say thank you, God bless you. Please look a day with us as we hope sincerely to host the second edition next year. Thank you and God bless.
Ace, bring the beat back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Please, I've been asked to do this again. We want to sincerely thank everyone who has been part